Hi Gemini, welcome to your June 2017 Love Tarot reading. It's Raina here. So, this is a new feature. Oh, this is for singles, by the way. And I'm sure you know that because I'll probably be putting it very prominently on my title. But this is the first time I'm doing this, and it's because I was asked about it, and I thought that it would be an interesting experiment. And as I've said to the other signs, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it next month. It depends on if it really seems to yield anything different. As I have observed and mentioned in prior readings this month, some of the same themes are present, whether you're embroiled in a relationship or totally single. And this involves kind of being hung up on partners from the past, for instance, or even basic emotional patterns that hold you back from going deep with a partner and therefore having that kind of an emotional bond, or, you know, just feeling like comfortable, trusting, that kind of thing. I guess that's somewhere in the same vicinity, but you get the drift. So, and before I lay out the cards, I just want to let you know, if you'd like a private reading, please click in the description area where I have linked my website, because with my love readings I do use your natal chart, and that can show different patterns that people have and attitudes towards love that sometimes need to be looked at, because sometimes people have that sense of pain attached to love because of past experiences. So I'm one of those people. I believe, you know, in Satori, if you know what that means. And it's like a sudden enlightenment. I think I'm defining it properly, or just coming to a realization, an inspired realization about life itself that leads to, it's like sudden enlightenment. And I feel that that happens, and we don't have to go through all of this, you know, years and years of like examining the past. I feel like once you can define it, you really, you know, transcend it. If you can resonate with the idea that it's been holding you back something. And I feel like it's very healing to just know what's going on, because sometimes we get very confused. And you can do this in a number of ways, you know, through your natal chart. You can do this just from self-inquiry. You know, that's a type of a spiritual path where you really question things to their root, and you come up with this understanding of your true nature, you know. So I know that's a little bit deep for a singles love reading, right? Okay, well, I'm just joking. I don't think anything is too deep. Okay. Usually I will pick another card when I get the Three of Swords as a, you know, final card, final outcome. But there's actually a positive ending for this that relates to the Three of Swords, so I'll talk about that. Now, the overall theme is actually one that's very happy and joyous and very harmonious emotionally. The Ten of Cups is one of the best cards that you can get for love, or for, you know, just emotional wellness in general. This can be in relationship to your family. You may feel like a sense of unity, whereas before you felt rather alienated, maybe, that you're not on the same page with your family. So This card actually represents marriage. So it's possible that you can meet somebody at a wedding that turns into a love relationship. But in general, like let's say you got divorced and all of a sudden your family life blossoms because there's not the same tension. That would be a possible interpretation of this card for the overall energy. But let's put it this way. This is a card of somebody who gets engaged or gets married. I mean, I guess you could be getting married, but this is a singles reading, so I'm assuming that you're not in a relationship. But there is a possibility that, and of course in the month of June, people are getting married left and right. And so that is a very definite possibility that you could be at a wedding in June and maybe you'll meet somebody. This can also speak of water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Always remember that it doesn't have to be the sun sign, and sometimes people seem like water signs simply because their rising sign is a water sign. And this is because the rising sign is the image that they project onto others. So with a Gemini person, I typically think of a Pisces individual that you tend to get involved with. Now, it's interesting because here you are, an air sign. Gemini is not associated with being overly emotional. I do get people occasionally who really, that really seems to piss them off, when they're Geminis or Aquarians, about me saying something like that. And they're saying I'm very emotional, blah, blah, blah. And I'd have to be the judge of that, because they may have fire energy and they're very passionate about defending things, but they're not really emotional. There's a difference. The water signs are different than the fire signs. The fire signs are more passionate, where it's just kind of like an outer emotion. It's conceptual. It's dealing with, mad at people who don't, who eat animals, being a vegan and being mad about that, versus being, very sensitive towards other people's emotional pain, their personal pain. Fire sign energy is more impersonal. You're an air sign, you're like fire sign. You're masculine, so you're yang. And so you tend not to project your personal gunk onto other people in that way. But you have this in the past tense. Okay? Boy, that took a long time to get to this card. It's the idea of being emotionally dissatisfied with whatever is being presented to you. Because this is a cup being presented to you, it may be a relationship that you've come out of where it was one-sided. Maybe somebody loved you and you didn't love them. And so you might have gotten divorced because of that, and now you're single. But it could be, even if you're not if you haven't been dating, you may be kind of lackluster when it comes to a desire to date. You may feel like you've been through the mill with people and you'd rather be by yourself. And maybe you feel like it's hard to find the right person, that there's always some kind of, maybe that person, if you were with somebody, was placed emotional demands on you and even accused you of not being caring enough because you did not emote the way that they wanted you to. Again, if this is somebody with a sun in water or a prominent water, they are totally likely to do this because that's how they approach life. So if you're not approaching life in their way, they might just automatically assume that you don't care. And it's really kind of a game, you know, don't fall into other people's traps of like trying to prove that you love somebody, because it just doesn't work that way. You know, a lot of people they won't accept you anyway. They won't accept your brand of love. So you have to go with a person that understands you from day one, who you don't have to explain yourself. When you feel like, this is a tip, when you feel like you have to explain who you are, that's a good sign that you're not with the right one. Because the right one will understand you. If you've been with a lot of people that have been incompatible, you may just think that's going to be a universal situation. It's not. It really isn't. I'm, you know, proof of that. I'm with somebody who totally gets me, and believe me, that's quite a feat. But anyway, for the present energy, we have the Six of Wands. Very positive energy. It's associated with victory. This could be a career situation where you're receiving accolades. Maybe this indicates that you're very consumed with your career, but in your love life, this could relate to a fire sign energy. Perhaps if you did meet somebody at a wedding, it's with a Leo or an Aries or a Sagittarius. There's going to be a full moon in Sagittarius in June, on June 9th, which happens to be the opposite house of Gemini, the 7th house of committed partnership. So, you know, looking at things from a timing angle, you know, we should not get too hung up on it, because for some of you, you may have a situation where the relationship ends in June, and some of this is like after that, you know, it's not exactly falling in line. The higher message is represented by the Chariot. This is a card that is connected to Cancer. Now those cups, that may have related to Cancer. Cancer is adjacent to you on the zodiac wheel. Cancer energy is very different from yours. So it's not so much, I mean, if you were with a Cancer person, I would expect more times than not that there would be a lot of kind of communication issues or confusion. I mean, just a lack of understanding one another. You know, that might be a frequent issue between the two of you. This card could also be saying that, because this is a card that represents holding the reins of the horse, which means that you are focused on a goal. And because Gemini is a very scattered sign, in other words, your energy tends to be very scattered, you're a mutable sign, you have many interests, and this could even include love relationships. This could be telling you as a spiritual message that if you are too, if your love life is diluted because you tend to crave so much variety that you're kind of flitting like a bee from one flower to another, it's going to be very hard for you to develop anything other than a shallow relationship with another person. And so it's about really investing in one thing. And the trick is that you have to find somebody that is worth that investment in terms of being somebody that interests you, because you are someone who can be quite distracted and easily bored. So you need a kind of person who can really keep your interests, and also not only keep your interests, but keep you on your toes. What crosses you is the Seven of Swords. This may very well be some behavior on your end of things, not just because swords relates to the air signs like you. By the way, this could be another air sign who is problematic in your life. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But this is this can be a card of deception and cheating and things like that. For Gemini, I think that there is sometimes the likelihood of this happening with certain Gemini people because of the aforementioned traits, such as being easily bored, being a mutable sign, so being very appreciative of variety, not wanting, that's what easily bored means, is that you always need some novelty to keep your attention. But also, I think because you don't like, some of you don't like emotional scenes or any kind of emotional demands, you may always want to kind of be 1 foot out the door. And this may lead to deception. I think that Geminis make great used car salesmen, and I know that's going to sound pretty insulting, but I mean, you do have the gift. You have the gift for gab, and the shadow aspect of this could be deceptive speech. Using that mercurial or Mercury, mercurial means changeable. Using that Mercury ruled energy, like a forked tongue, where you are being a disinfo agent. I'm not saying all Geminis are dishonest. I'm saying that if we're going to look at weapons or defense mechanisms or whatever you want to call it that each sign has, for Gemini it could be on the verbal level, whether it's sarcasm or whether it's not being 100% straight with people, kind of gilding the lily or bending the truth. So please watch out for that. Be above board. Don't be afraid to be who you are. You'll find the right person that way. When you try to be what other people want you to be and try to be that chameleon and kind of morph into what somebody else wants you to be, you might do a passable job, but you're not going to be yourself. You're going to be what they want. The advice, or what's coming in, is the Ace of Wands, and so this is a new beginning, a very exuberant feeling, wanting, you're chomping at the bit when it comes to a relationship. The Ace is the beginnings. This could be with a fire sign, just like that Six of Wands suggests. Leo, Sag, or Aries. And this is a compatible element for you. You may be just full of life, full of, this is a summertime. This is your time. This is your solar return, Gemini. So you're already in a good place. And I think you're raring to go. And you really want this new thing to occur. The outcome is the Three of Swords. This is going to be, I think this is going to be, for a lot of you, about cutting ties with somebody who you might, like maybe you had an ex who you were still in communication with. As I said, it could be another sword sign. And perhaps you have a sword sign, meaning air sign. And perhaps you have you've broken up, but you still have a friendly relationship with them. But either you or the other party, and I'm thinking it's the other party, may have aspirations to get back together with you. And so this would be suggesting that you cut it off completely and very quickly. Like, don't try to soften the blow, because you're dragging something out and that's keeping you stuck in the past. So it's like you have this beginning, very strong beginning energy, but in order to fully take advantage of it, you might have to cut some ties with somebody. And it's always a possibility that it's not related to a particular love relationship. Maybe it's maybe it's a friend who is dragging you down, who is, maybe they're even planting negative ideas about the new person in your life because they're envious that they don't have someone, or jealous, So not sure what that means to you, but I don't fear the Three of Swords as a, you know, an outcome card, because I know that it can actually be something very good. So that's very interesting, Gemini, and I hope you have a wonderful June. Take care of yourself. Bye.